What's going on, Joe fans? Mr. 1013 here with another episode of the Classified Sub Team series. And this is episode 6. And this time we are going to dive into the Cobra Crimson Strike Team. So we got the Strike Team as a part of some JoeCon exclusives, both modern and old ring versions. First version being in 2002 and the next being in 2009 with a mix of some other figures as well as we're going to see in the slides. But let's kick it off. The Crimson Strike Team is an elite group of shock troops and bodyguards loyal only to the secret cabal formed by the Baroness, Tomax, and Zaymot. They are hand selected not only for their superior skills and ruthless efficiency, but also their overwhelming greed. Untraceable financial incentives from the Crimson Twins and brainwashing from the Baroness ensure their unswerving loyalty even to the point of following the orders of the treacherous trio in direct opposition of Cobra Commander himself. These Vipers are ready to lay down their lives for the Baroness and their Crimson Commanders, if not out of fanaticism, then for the substantial mission bonuses. So again, the Crimson Strike Team, led by Baroness and Tomax and Zaymot. So let's get into who was in the Crimson Strike Team. And first up, one of the leaders, we have the Baroness. And as you can see, we have the original release again in 2002. And I believe the Crimson Strike Team, again, were first made available in toy form at the JoeCon as one of the first team packages. And you can see the Crimson Strike Team box art over here. And of course, we got the O-ring version right here. And we're going to compare it to how she looks in Classified. So a whole 21 years ago, we got this O-ring version, and this is a great update. I love the Crimson Strike Team. I'm glad they also added some additional Crimson soldiers to the line as well, to this sub team as well. But you just see the differences in what they did with the upgrades with the figure. So right here, we got more of a whole uniform. You can tell this is like some armor plating right here. And they updated it here by having like a chest plate for the Baroness. You got that metallic red paint on her. Looks really good on top of the red mat. We're going to get the in-hand look, of course. She does have the pythons on the arms right here. And I kind of like this a little bit better on the O-ring version just because, we have it on the, if you can't see them here, we'll take a look on the in the in-hand, but she does have the Cobra, but these just look like they're actual bands or, wristbands or braces on top of the gloves. I'd like to upgrade to the belt with the big Cobra insignia here. We have it here. So solid update. I would like the snake pattern that we have, or the texture we have on the body armor as well. Beautiful looking figure. Let's take a look at here. Of course, here's the file card of the Crimson Strike Team Intelligent Officer Baroness. So let's take a look at her in hand before we look at what she came with in the classified version. And here we have Baroness. Let's get that up close look. She got that candy paint red armor that looks really dope on her. This was a 2023 convention exclusive as well through Hasbro. Very nice solid paint apps on here. Again, I like the gold paint on the belt for the Cobra insignia. And this is what I was talking about here. So we do have that same Cobra logo, but again, on the O-ring version, it had like a wrist band, and then it was a bigger mold. You know what I mean? So they just molded it on top of the glove here, which is pretty cool. But if they did add that extra layer, that would have been dope as well. Again, same thing on this side. Nice metallic silver paint on here. Here's the back, got the holsters for both weapons. Her gold pistols, as we'll see that she came with. And this was like the fourth Baroness we got in Classified so far. We got the one that came with the Assault on Cobra, the Target exclusive, Cobra Island, retro card. We've also had the Rattler in this one. So I believe we have 4 versions of Baroness so far in the Classified line. Again, this candy, this I like to call it the candy paint metallic red, looks very clean on her. Silver Cobra insignia on the chest. Now, I do like the gold pop because the gold pop, of course, it is not uniform with the rest of her with the red, black, and silver, but with the gold pops with the pistols and everything also comes together. This hairpiece is removable, as we'll see. She had alternate head sculpts, and you can switch out her glasses as well. So very solid figure, articulation, She does have the pins in these modes, so she has pin double jointed knees, pinless arms right here. So there you have our in-hand look at Baroness. So let's take a look at what she came with though. So in the classified version, she came again with a couple different head sculpts. So these are the head sculpts where you can swap out the hair pieces as well. She also had multiple glasses. This is the one where she's biting her lip, and then this is kind of like the battle armor type of vibe right here. But I got her with this one. I usually switch out between these two since we got so many Baroness. You can you can change out or swap out her facial expressions, and then also with the Rattler version, you can change out the hairstyles as well. So you can have a variation of Baroness, which is pretty dope. But she had the wind blowing hair. Again, she had the two pistols, two Uzis, red silencer, crimson silencers, two pairs of glasses, the circle frames as displayed in hand, and the more rectangular glasses right here. And then we have this Cobra blaster that wraps around her arm, and I don't believe it shoots anything; just has an open mouth. And then they also came with some gold stands as well. So very solid figure and very nice update to Baroness. On to the next, we have none other than the Crimson Twins. This is Tomax. So again, Tomax came, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw both these guys. Might as well pair them together, right? So Tomax, of course, again, you can see the O-ring comparisons here. Instead of the silver, we got the gold collar going around the side instead of more of the orange, red orange hair. We have a darker brown hair. Same kind of, even with the arching of the eyebrow, got that same kind of look. Nice Cobra insignia right here. I like the update to the belt, making it a bigger Cobra vibe right here, but still has the silver and gold touches. We got the nice Python updates here to the knee pads, going down to the boots. They added the gold gauntlet on the side here. Very positive update to Tomax. And I'm going to show you the in hand of Tomax. Going to be pretty quick between these two because we have some, same details, pretty much same figure. But here he is. So no metallic red paint on this guy, more just the matte crimson on him, representing the cloth, no real body armor. And then for the actual silver armor plates on this guy, we got the silver plastic versus like that spray metallic silver paint on here. We do have some gold hits right here with the metallic gold. Is this metallic gold too? I think it is. It's not the plastic. It has paint on here as well. So that's a nice touch. We got the black sash going around there, and then you got some nice expression for Tomax right there with the raised eyebrow. Solid figure. And the original versions did not come as a 2-pack, and I do not, and I don't understand why. Maybe it's before the 2-pack time, but they came separately. And maybe if they do the business suits, they'll come in as a 2-pack. Hopefully, you shouldn't have to buy these guys individual. Definitely should be a 2-pack. We had the pinless elbows and legs, double joints, elbows and knees, I should say, but solid figure. Get back to the slide. He came with 2 daggers, as you can see here. He also comes with his submachine gun, looks like an MP5, but then with the a red crimson silencer on there. Moving on to the next slide, we're going on to the twin brother. Also came with his gold stand as well. And again, hopefully we can start getting stands with some of these characters. We got Xamot, and of course he has a scar on his eye right here. Everything is opposite of his twin. Again, darker hair versus the red orange hair. Pretty same build, pretty much the same build. Moved over some of the collar to the right side. Again, gold, silver, silver Cobra insignia, and the black glove, and the gold metal plate over here. Here's their file card down here. And again, released an O-ring version in 2002 and a part of the Classified series in 2023. And we're going to get a quick in-hand look at him. And again, here we go. Solid update. I'm glad they got the nice little scar on there. That's one way to tell the difference between the twins, other than all the pieces being opposite of the other, being mirror images. That's the difference between the two. Again, all pinless joints, double joints, solid, and they were part of a 3-pack altogether. Both the Crimson Commanders, the Crimson Twins, and Baroness came in a 3-pack. There you have it. And look at the Crimson Twins, and we're going to go back to the slide to show you what accessories he came with. And he basically came with the same thing. Submachine gun, both daggers, stand, Zaymot on there. So let's look at who the next member of the Crimson Strike team is, and it is the Vipers, the Crimson Vipers. So this was an addition, but as we look, there's some slight differences between the O-ring version and the classified version of the Crimson Viper. Right off the bat, we got the sleeves that's rolled up. And again, I don't think we got a rolled up sleeve Viper in the classified line that I can recall. I had to do some digging to really see if we did, but I don't think so. But here we go. We're definitely missing the gold hits. You know what I mean? We're missing the gold holster. We're missing the gold grenades. Maybe these buckles should have been gold or something like that. But we're definitely missing the gold hits. Crimson Viper also came in the solo box. He came out in 2002 again and released in 2023. It's classified. It was a part of the Crimson Strike team. Other than that, I mean, they could have leaned into a little bit more. And if we didn't get this Viper yet, it's because he's probably going to do another retro Viper with the more traditional rolled up sleeve. I could see them dropping that because we didn't have one yet. But we probably could have got some silver paint here. So there's just some missing points of gold on this guy and some silver. I don't even mind that. I think if they added the gold bits to it, I think that would have been good enough for this version. Let's get an in-hand look at the Cobra Viper, Cobra Crimson Viper. And here we have it. So as you can see, he also came with the neck scarf, which is like a navy blue. Even if that would have been gold, you know what I'm saying? If that would have been gold, it would have been a little pop. But we had that padding that we've seen on the Vipers as well, so you can see it here. But it's all black. That could have been silver on those edges. Overall, the Vipers have been looking like good in the line. They had so many different Vipers with this mold. They did so many different colorways with them. We also got that 3-pack of Vipers, then with the gold, burgundy, and gray, and there was 2 other colorways as well that matched. So it was there. It was there. Just didn't execute to the fullest potential. But again, solid figure. These do have pins and all, again, early mode. So these had pin, double jointed elbows, pin, double jointed knees. The silver is really like gray on this figure, not even like the same silver that we got on the rest of the Crimson Strike team that we've seen before. Boots matte black. The helmet is pretty good on there. Not super shiny, but it does have a nice finish to it, as you can see. Again, yeah, we just needed those gold hits, and I don't know if this was in the pipeline when they thought about releasing the Crimson Strike team with Baroness and the Crimson Twins, but hey, here we go, we got them. So let's move on to the next. Well, before that, let's see what the Viper came with. So he came with his goggles. Again, no gold hits on it anywhere. Nice backpack. Definitely could have had the gold or silver insignia here, or these be gold. Could have been a gold, or even come with gold pistols. That would have been, a part of the whole, bring the aesthetic together when you're displaying them on shelf. Moving on to the next, we have the Crimson Guard. So red, silver, crimson, And we recently got the announcement on we should be shipping soon the female version of the Crimson Guard as well. So you can have both of them. I did include it as you will see, but we're just going to compare both. And this is a great update here. I mean, dead on, very nice update. We also had we had a classified version and a retro card version of the Crimson Guard. Originally released in 1985, wasn't a part of the strike team that was part of the convention set, but Crimson Guard was released in 1985, and the classified version was released in 2022. Very nice update. I'm loving everything. Even the badges here, the ropes here, the helmet. Perfect update. I think the retro only thing that was different, maybe the pants were different, but everything else. I mean, I like they added the silver trim around the breast of the shirt here, the jacket, just to give it a little bit more detail. Added 2 rings of silver paint around the wrist. But no, this was a great update. No complaints with this one. Moving over to the in-hand look. Here we have him. It looks good. I wish we would have had just so it could be more cohesive. And this is just tedious, right? Because I mean, crimson is just the color. I mean, you put them all on display, they're gonna look good together. But maybe like the gold rope, you know what I mean? That would be looking good on this guy. If we were to add some other little gold touches, maybe gold around the trim of the collar, maybe on the helmet or something like that to just make it stand out. But overall, again, this was a solid figure, solid release for classified versus the O-ring. We got the nice little hit right there. Very clean paint apps. We have pinless joints and elbows on this guy as well, with all the other standard classified series articulation. And again, very nice job on the badge here as well. And that is molded on and not painted. So that's very solid as well. Nice touches on the buttons. Even we got some gold buttons right there. That'd be a nice touch. Never say never. Anything to get another repaint and use of that mold, right? So let's get back to the slide and let's see what Crimson Guard came with. And I believe I added both. So I put side by side both the female and the male version because they pretty much come with the same kit. We do have some extra hands that comes with the female version of the Crimson Guard, and we can see the difference here with the silver painted face mask versus the black face mask here on the male Crimson Guard figure. But yeah, it comes with, of course, he comes with the sword, pistol, knife, rifle with the bayonet on there, with the knife on there. So very clean. I'm looking forward to getting this figure in hand. I wish he would have came with an alternate head sculpt. Even with the with troop builders like this, having an alternate head sculpt just to take off the helmet, just to give a little bit of variety, would have been something dope that they could have included. But there you have it. And this is coming on a retro card as well. So I wonder why they made that decision. But hey, moving on to the next one. We have the Crimson Alley Viper. So I remember this guy being one of those highly sought after figures from was the Rise of Pursuit of Cobra. This colorway was from Pursuit of Cobra. As you can see, the original release was in 2010. So back in the day in O-Ring, we had the orange and blue Alley Viper. We had I like to call him the yellow jacket Alley Viper, but it was the yellow and black one. That was like my favorite Alley Viper, the yellow and black Alley Viper. I wish we would get him. We've had a few Alley Vipers, a couple Alley Vipers in classified. We had, of course, the Crimson as we're looking at now, and we also had the one that come with the trench. It was the Trench Alley Viper, the one with the black digital camo. I still have yet to open that out the box, y'all. So I got to get that thing open. But that was a nice deco on that Alley Viper as well. But this still might be my best, my favorite version in classified, again with the crimson vest mask. It just pops off. We got like the black and gray caution kind of decals right here going across, or the hazards, or whatever we want to call it around here. Very beautiful crimson shield with the black Cobra insignia on there. Um, Even like the update to the backpack and things like this. This was amazing figure. Again, Alley Viper was one of those guys uh, that I love, like one of my favorite Vipers. So let's get an in-hand look at Alley Viper. And here we have, I have him with the mask on. And you get a couple of these troopers, man. Even Alley Viper has little hits of gold. You know what I'm saying? Even he has like a little touch of gold on him, man. I wish we got that. But we got majority, he's like a charcoal gray, or it's a black, it's either light black or like a charcoal gray, depending on how you want to look at it. But very nice touches here. We got the Cobra insignia on the arm patch here. Again, we got some nice clean details on the deco. Padding looks really good. Very nice detail on the web gear and the holsters. Lifting this up, we got a nice little biohazard kind of symbol right there on the top. In a nice blue, we got the nice Cobra insignia right there on the top of his helmet. Let's see if we can focus in on that. There we go. Beautiful. You lift that up. We got the nice face mask under there. Just a cool looking figure, man. Even with the helmet, with the fangs coming up, man. Alley Viper was so dope. So dope. Going to the back of the figure, just did some nice padding on the back of the vest here. And he does have pinned joints, pinned double elbows, pinned double knees. But overall, solid figure, part of the Crimson team. Going back to who's next, we had the Crimson Bat. Again, they had this bat figure. They threw the bat in every sub team possible. We got the Iron Grenadier bat. We got the Crimson Bat. We got I will say the Frozen Bat, but the Snow Bat. What else we got? The regular bat. We got so many. They just decided, hey, throw them in there, throw a different paint app on them, and have those sub team collectors add them to their collection, right? So as we can see, Crimson Deco came with the damage head, came with the solid head, 2 different chest plates if you want some battle damage bats out there on the field or on display. Then we have the clean chest plates here, comes with a pistol, backpack that comes standard with all the bats and all the pieces that come with the bats. This was originally released in 2023, and the classified release was 23. And let's take an in-hand look at him. And here we have it again. More of the black, red, and gray main line kind of. There we go. I'm sorry about that. Let's get focused, guys. Here we go. So more or less, you know what I'm saying, on the main line stuff versus the strike team being red, black, and gold with a little bit of gray. This is basically red, black, and silver or gray. But again, standing all together as a cohesive team, it'll look all together. Especially, it almost kind of makes sense that the commanders do have gold. That way they stand out amongst the rest of them. You know what I mean? So Crimson, of course, being the base, knowing, hey, we all rock the same sub team. But the gold just saying, hey, this is the rank. You know what I mean? So again, we had the detail here. Very nice clean paint apps on top of the chest piece here. Silver metallic paint right there on the mask, matching like the Viper that we seen earlier. Nice detailing on the arms. Yeah, the pinless double joints here. The pinless here. And they look really clean on these without the pins as well. All the same sort of articulation that you would get with classified. Solid. Let's get back to the slideshow. So back to the slide, and then that's our last look at the Crimson Bat. And here's the modern strike team. All right, so this is basically all the modern era versions that we got, and we pretty much got the whole, except the bat, we got the whole strike team in modern era version, may have been the 25th anniversary, 30th anniversary, Pursuit of Cobra, 50th anniversary, etc., etc. You can see released between 2008 and 2010 that we got all these Vipers, and even in the modern with the Joes, you can see they kind of switched it up. The convention did the Vipers actually have like the gold grenades here, more or less black and silver, still with the rolled up sleeves. I'm pretty sure we'll get a retro card, a Viper that closely resembles, the Vipers with the short sleeves, but we have the silver on the collars and shoulder pads for the Crimson Twins. Here we have Baroness with the gold glasses, updated version, of course, in modern era. Same with the Crimson Guard. And here's the Alley Viper as well that they drew inspiration from. Again, another perfect update. Even he has like the gold, the gold grenade on there. So the modern era had it together with the ties of just the hits of gold on the figures. So this was the only vehicle I found, and this was like the Crimson Copter. So this was also a part of the convention as well. So this was available, and this was the only vehicle. This could definitely be something that if they brought out the Dragonfly, if they want to make this in a classified version, I believe there is opportunity for that. Looked like it is a one-man, maybe two, maybe another figure can fit back here. Vehicle, but this is definitely something that can be brought up to classified. And that is, one last look. So overall look of all of the O-Ring and modern era versions of the Strike Team members. So again, 2002 were the O-Ring versions here. 1985 was the original Crimson Guard figure. 2009 we had the Strike Team, again from the Joe convention. And then in 2010 from Pursuit of Cobra, we had the Crimson Alley Viper. And that is the end of our slide in our episode. So I appreciate you guys for checking out episode 6 of our sub-team series. The Crimson Strike Team, Cobra Crimson Strike Team. We've had such great feedback from all the other sub-team series. We're still going. We just finished another Cobra, so we're going to bounce back to G.I. Joe. And I got another exciting episode lined up for you guys. I appreciate you for liking, continue to show love, share, subscribe to the channel and everything for only reviews, but some of this kind of original content and more things that I'm trying to bring up. So to share with you guys, if you got any ideas on something you would like to see, definitely let me know. But other than that, I appreciate you guys as always, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.